Councilmember Tasta.
I would like to make a motion. I move that staff negotiate a contract with CARES to extend their services for animal control to the City of Burien and Monica. I have this written down. So, for animal control to the City of Burien to the end of 2017 for an amount not to exceed $240,000. This contract will require quarterly reporting of services rendered based on accurate recording of calls and responses. Additionally, within the next 3 months, the city will fund a review of CARES to be conducted by an outside veterinarian, such as Denise Vickers has done in the past, that will identify needed improvements, if any. CARES will make needed improvements by January 2017. CARES will also develop an estimate for 2018 services and beyond, and city staff will continue to work with Regional Animal Control Services of King County for an estimate for 2018, no later than November 2017. So that's my motion.
I second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second.
And
so now the floor is open for discussion, and Councilmember Tasta will speak to her motion.
So we've heard a tremendous amount of community support, and that is partially my rationale. Obviously, we as a council have a fiscal responsibility. I think we have a responsibility to provide what services our community needs. So we cannot, in my mind, be without animal control services. We have been in a situation where King County has not necessarily been able to provide us with an accurate estimate because they're in the midst of a contract that we are not part of. They are in the process of renegotiating that over the next year. I think Burien should continue to be a viable player in that, just to see what that option provides. But I also think we should look to CARES as a community asset that we have invested a lot in, that many of our members of our community have invested in, and maintain that. I would love to actually extend this beyond, but I think in all fairness, this gives us an opportunity to consider other options, gives an opportunity for CARES to step up if there are things that council members have particular concerns about, and see if we can have those addressed in future contracts with CARES. So I strongly support continued services with CARES.
Right. So we'll go ahead and go down the row and do our first round. Councilmember Wagner, any comments at this time?
I would not support giving more money to CARES, just for the simple reason that I don't know how the money that they're getting right now is being spent, because they've got 5 different organizations under the one CARES umbrella. And when we get a reporting and accounting of, like, say, wages that are paid, so $184,000 going out in wages, and we've got a contract for $175,000, so I have no idea who's being paid what. And I have also seen the reports from Denise McVickers in the past, from 2013 and 2012 and 2014, well, the end of 2013, for the follow-up, requesting that CARES vaccinate on intake, and they still don't have anybody trained to vaccinate on intake. I would have to have that written into the contract. All of those different items that are missing from having a comprehensive care facility are still not being done. She said that the pets had to be put into the Pet Point database within 10 minutes of coming into the shelter, and that calls for service had to be put into the Pet Point database. That's not being done. So these are just a few examples of things that have been asked for years that haven't been done yet. So I would have to have an awful lot of stuff written into the contract, that CARES be separated out from the other businesses, that CARES report just what's coming in and what's going out, that they keep an accurate account of calls for service, they keep an accurate record of each animal that comes in, a very comprehensive write-up on the animal, that they have a vaccination service on intake so that the cats in the cat condos aren't spreading upper respiratory infections to each other all over the place, that there's simple things that don't cost extra money that could have been being done all this time that haven't been done yet. So it would take probably a list of 11 items that would have to be added into the contract for me.
Thank you. Councilmember Armstrong.
Thank you. So a lot has been said from the citizens, the desire and the need and the want for CARES. I strongly support a CARES contract. I'd like to see it go further than, 16, 14, 15 months. Basically what we're talking is September 2016 through all of 2017. If I were a business person running CARES, I'd like to have a little more longevity to that contract so I could be able to plan, so I'd have some sort of comfort. The volunteers would have comfort in the fact that there is longevity, there is planning, there is a desire to improve. I think we're getting too far in the weeds. I think they're doing a great job. If we do have concerns, let's bring them out. Let's visit CARES and let's talk to them. They're more than receptive to help and to fix whatever's wrong. I don't really see anything wrong. I think they're doing a great job. So I'm voting for CARES.
Thank you. So I'm going to ask that we hold the applause, please, folks. Councilmember Berkowitz.
Thank you. I first and foremost appreciate the love for animals that everyone here shares. I appreciate the hard work of Deborah George, Ray Helms, and all the staff and many volunteers at CARES, as well as the staff and volunteers at RAC. I appreciate the community aspects described in detail at the last meeting. I also see that CARES is significantly cheaper than RAC. I generally disfavor contracting out city work to private companies, especially at below living wage job levels. All of these factors are important to me, and I've heard the many community members who testified as well as those who wrote to us. I heard a member of the public last meeting ask why CARES had to answer questions that RAC did not. I share your concern. I would like to see both entities answer the same questions. However, none of that is on what I'm basing my decision tonight. This is an issue of animal rights. I have tried during this process to discern whether CARES and or RAC meet all best practices for animal welfare. I have been unable to ascertain an answer to this question. For those of you who have asked why I voted no to extending the contract before, or who asked why we are considering this now, this is why. I am looking for facts, not opinions, on the animal welfare under CARES and under RAC. I am particularly concerned with the prior reviews of CARES. The first review performed by Denise McVickers demonstrated subpar animal facilities in many ways. The second review showed much improvement, but still not best practices in all areas. Both reviews are significantly out of date, and I don't have any reviews for RAC. I don't know where CARES or RAC stands today. Before I can support extending CARES contract beyond December or moving to RAC, I need to have this information. I am pleased to say this is the first issue on which we have gotten any information from the city staff, but unfortunately the animal welfare information is not yet available. I still hope to obtain it soon. I've heard lots of citizens testify that they think CARES provides great care, but none of those is an expert. I heard someone ask questions about vaccines and cats with kittens last week. It sounded like she'd actually been providing suggestions to CARES. But I don't have any testimony from any expert saying that the care is actually good. At least 2 citizens who have long worked with cat rescues have expressed their preference for RAC. I request information from both CARES and RAC about what the experts say about the animal welfare of both organizations. If CARES does not meet the best practice standards, I would like to know the cost to get CARES up to par. If it is truly less than the difference in cost between RAC and CARES, I will likely favor contributing this difference to CARES. We also heard testimony at the last meeting about the possibility of starting a barn cat program at CARES. We've had numerous complaints over the years about CARES dealing with cats in general. I would like to know if it is possible for CARES to create a barn cat program before 2017, and if so, what the cost would be. In contrast, if CARES does meet animal practice standards, I'm deeply concerned about the idea of losing our local shelter. Unfortunately, the reality is that people facing the choice of driving to Kent or Kirkland to go to a shelter will likely choose to buy a pet instead. That's something I'm loath to contribute to. Finally, I'm in the unique position of living less than a block from the border between RAC and CARES, so I experience the difference personally. My own experience with CARES Animal Control Services, as compared to RAC, has been hit or miss. I would like to know the cost of having rafts do the animal control service for Burien, eliminating the jurisdictional issues and disparities while maintaining CARES as a local shelter. I'm concerned about moving forward without having adequate information about the welfare of animals. However, given the tremendous outpouring of support for CARES, I am willing to extend the CARES contract on the condition that we get the information I need to make a longer commitment. I believe this motion, written by Councilmember Tosta, does that. Therefore, I will support Councilmember Tosta's motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Bell.
Well, what else can be said that hasn't already been said already by my colleagues or by members of the community? I guess I'll just leave it at, it appears that our community would do whatever it takes to save CARES. And so I believe that we should do the same. If it requires more funding, if it requires another review, if it requires some object or change at the micro level, let's do it. Whatever it takes, let's save CARES. And so I'll be voting in favor of this motion too.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Edgar.
Well, we've heard a lot of testimony last meeting and this meeting, so there's a lot of passion out there. I mentioned last time, and I'll mention it again, I still am not pleased with the behind-the-scenes operating and bookkeeping that the city has been getting from CARES for the last 5 years. The information we've gotten has been not repeatable, so it's difficult to compare one year to another. And I would be not in favor of spending more money for performance that I've not seen on paper over the last 5 years. So at this point, I'm still not in favor of extending the CARES contract.
Thank you. And for myself, I'm basing my decision on my personal experiences and encounters with citizens with regard to the animal control services that we've experienced over the years. And I do have concerns. And so at this time, I am not prepared to support this motion. So that's our first round. Do we want to go for another round?
Let's vote.
Okay. We ready to vote? Councilmember Berkowitz?
Yeah, let's vote.
Okay. Let's go ahead and place our votes, please. And Councilmember
My vote
Berkowitz?
is in favor of Councilmember Tosta.
So your vote is in favor of the motion. Okay.
Yes.
So the motion passes 4-3. Thank you. All right. So thank you all for coming tonight.